So I'm bringing you over to the jointer table, which is a ground surface, 100% dead flat. I just wanted to show you the little bit of sort of deflection that we have. So when we put that spherical radius on the foot of the bridge, it's not just that we clean it up 100%. When we load that up with glue, oh boy, you can see that crack here. Yeah, it starts here and goes right through. So it's not just that it cleans it up beautifully, but when you spread the glue on that surface and you clamp it down, you essentially have a super shallow suction cup full of glue. I've never had one of these bridges come off. Well, I can't bring myself to putting that cracked bridge back on, so we're going to make a new bridge. So the first thing you got to do is make sure all those holes are in the right place. Now this is the taper and the depth of the original bridge pin holes. Okay, so we stained that while the tape was still on there to protect the top with the ebony stain. And now when I rest the straight edge along the frets, it just kisses the top of the bridge. See, they don't give you a lot of room to maneuver here. That's my ground. It goes on the bottom. So I'm going to get both of these to their destinations first. This circuit board is stretched to the limit, so this is as far as it's going to go. But it does get you to the sound hole, so we do have access. And that's it. The pickup is reconnected. I ground the edge of that socket down in order to kind of fit onto that nut. Boy, they're not making it easy for you here. It is plastic, so you don't want to torque it too much. Better it come loose than you break it, then you're really in trouble. She was using medium strings. We stepped it down 1 gauge to the bluegrass, which is 12 to 56. And this guitar does not sit around collecting dust. Of course, as you could see, there was a bit more involved than either of us had sort of planned for. Most important thing is it's up and ready for the gig. Everything did come forward a little bit to where it was, and I used my regular 97-47 formula that I discuss with my Patreon guys. So let's strum a few chords and have a listen. I'm going to share this tuning tip again, and this is for you, Jana. So now that all the calibration has been done at the bridge and at the nut, this is the tuning check that I use. And you'll find that those first position chords just line up beautifully. So there's a little bit different way to tune your guitar. First string open, second string open. E and B. So the next 2 strings you tune are the A string, which is the harmonic on the 7th fret. Just touch the string very lightly directly over the 7th fret. Note E and B. So again, E, first string, B, second string. These are open strings. These are the harmonics, 5th string, 7th fret, E and B. So the last 2 strings you're going to tune are the middle 2. And again, the notes E and B. So one last time, open first string, E, open second string, B. Harmonic 7th fret, A string, the note E, and harmonic 7th fret on the low E string, B. Lastly, the middle 2 strings fretting the notes on the 9th fret, E and B. And then try those open chords, just your regular G, C, D. Once I've calibrated nut and saddle, I finish up with this tuning. So have a listen. I'll just play like a G chord, first position, 3rd position, 7th position, and 12th position. Any chord, anywhere, you'll find that. Your guitar will play more in tune than it ever has. There's an A, A. Here's your garden variety D chord, first position. Notice how that F sharp is not sharp. So again, this is set up for strumming. That was completely unplugged. This is just a strict acoustic guitar. This system actually sounds great. We'll plug it in there in a minute and let you hear it. I've recorded 3 chord progressions, the same 3 chords, same sequence in different parts of the neck. So this is the first one. And I layered this over top. And then the third progression is